my goodness, it's 2026. We have started the new year already. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You could probably tell because we have got the BizFest Takeover. So for the next 12 weeks, yes, next 12 weeks, you are going to be seeing this gorgeous chap. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you doing?
I am over the moon that you're here. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. I can't believe it's 12 months ago we started doing this.
I know, absolutely crazy. Where's the time gone?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say I've got grayer hairs. You've got no hair, mate. Where's it gone?
No hair now. Yeah, I've embraced it. I've embraced the bald patch at the back, and I've just gone for it. So yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. How was 2025, mate, and BizFest 25?
Speaking on Jamie's behalf here as well, of course. Jamie's unfortunately not able to be with us today. He's back in the office tomorrow, and he'll be here hopefully next week. But 2025 was amazing. Obviously, it was the launch of BizFest Southwest. We had 10 months to put that show together, and the feedback we had was just incredible. Like, again, genuinely not heard anything negative about it. And we're very, very open with feedback. We work with the amazing Sharon Clapp at investing customers, and the feedback we got, even written feedback, the testimonials we've had has just been amazing. And hey, we get to do it all again.
I was just going to say we get to do it all again. 1st of April. 1st of April. That's not a joke, is it? It's definitely the 1st of April.
Yeah. 1st of April, West Point Arena. We're open at the same time, 9:30 a.m. The only difference we may make is we may finish. So this year we were open till 5 p.m. But what we found, speaking to a lot of our exhibitors, a lot of our visitors, is that a lot of people were leaving about kind of 3:30. So we're actually thinking about maybe bringing the time down to 4:30 p.m. or maybe 3:30 p.m. But certainly the doors will be open again at 9:30 a.m. And yeah, a fun day of business, networking, connection, community, all of those amazing things. Obviously with a little bit of a lovely podcast takeover to run us up to it with the amazing leads as well.
Every single week, we are going to be chatting to different exhibitors, find out what they're doing in their business. And that's really exciting. I've got 2 people waiting in the wings. I'm not sure if the third's coming, but we've put this together really, really quickly because one minute we're talking about it and the next minute it's here, and that's life, isn't it? We've just got to adapt as we go, haven't we?
Yes, exactly that. I think I did a little calculation this morning. I think it's 86 days until the doors open for BizFest 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me wind the clock back. I did this thing. All right. Winding the clock back. And here we are in 2025. This time in 2025, how different is it to today? Because you're 12 months on, you've done a show, you've got a bit of credibility, lots and lots of credibility, or all those good things. So come on, what's different now? How are you feeling today?
Well, again, Jamie would be much better kind of versed at answering this, because Jamie's obviously Jamie's a sales director, Jamie O'Neill, and Jamie's obviously the person who's speaking to people who are inquiring. All of our marketing is done on an inbound marketing campaign. So everyone that's exhibiting has approached us, if that makes sense. And one thing I will say from a marketing perspective, because also I deal with all the marketing, is that the number of inquiries we had through this year compared to last year, it's about 400% up.
Wow.
Yeah, and nothing much has changed. We're using Meta advertising to do it. So we're advertising across Facebook and across Instagram. The budgets have all stayed the same. We're spending pretty much the same amount every day on advertising to bring those inquiries in. But yeah, it's about 400% up. And the feedback I've been getting from people that are signing up and people that are inquiring through my LinkedIn or via email is that, hey, the general consensus is I came to the show as a visitor. It was amazing. How can I be involved? And that's down to really the people that have exhibited with us and everyone getting involved and everyone wanted to make it as fun as an experience as possible. Because as much as business is about business, as we both know, me and you, Ashley, that it has to be fun as well. And if it's not fun, that people won't stick around. And I think that was, yeah. Well, you were there.
And there's an awful lot of networking as well. And I think that the great thing about what you guys have done is you've made it networking, and so all those exhibitors get to meet up beforehand. In fact, I was talking to one of our guests today in December at the Buffy Castle. Because she was coming networking. I bet she had a great time. Sadly, I'm not sure whether the other guest was there, but you didn't say hello, so I do apologize if I didn't say hello back. But this is the thing: we go into that show as mates, as friends. We know each other, and so it's not a show where I'm trying to flog something and you're trying to flog something, and that's it. It's we're all trying to help the Southwest. And it's a proper community. That's what I love about it, Gavin.
I love it. And that's, you know, me and Jamie, when we first kind of put pen to paper, when we first secured the date of the 2nd of April, 2025, that's the first thing that we really sat down and worked for. Like, okay, you know, what does this look like long term? Who do we want to have involved? And it's about obviously aligning ourselves with organizations that can help us to provide the right experience. So, you know, one of the first organizations we kind of teamed up with was the Not Working Networking guys, and Faye and Chris Bentley, and of course Ian Dunstan, and you know the unscripted team of Hannah and Tabs, all of those, and sorry, also Tasman as well from Beyond the Wall. Like these all of these kind of relationships came together. All those relationships kind of came together from what me and Jamie, our vision, if you will. And when we went and met with Chris and we met with Ian, we didn't, you know, they didn't know us from Adam, and we kind of just, you know, this is what we want to do, just really kind of unleashed, if you will. And the feedback we got from those guys was, yeah, do you know what, we're in. Like, this sounds amazing. The Southwest needs this, and you know, there was an event that run here, obviously for 10 years, but you know, for whatever reason, I don't think it kind of lived up to the hype that it kind of had every year, if that makes sense. People were, not saying people felt disappointed, but people kind of experienced it, and it wasn't what it could have been, I suppose, the right way of putting it. But then obviously that, you know, that relationship with Not Working Networking led us to John Harvey and the Samfire Club. You know, we had the Federation of Small Business involved in the show as well. That's the lovely Carmen Hanif. And then so many other organizations, and we're really, really excited. And I know you're involved with the Run Network, and John Ross, Ben, and help me out. Joe, I was going to say Samantha, and Joe, of course, Joe Motshead. You know, those three amazing people as well. You know, they've launched, you know, Run, which, you know, is running, and you're a front runner, and just bringing in more organizations like that so that we can bring in as wide a community as possible, and just bring people that perhaps normally wouldn't be in the same room, and just give them all a lovely, fun experience, but also productive for them and their businesses as well.
No, absolutely brilliant. Right, mate, I'm going to kick you out now because I'm busted. Look, I don't know if you noticed, I've actually got Kate Moss.
I know.
Kate Moss.
I know. Kate Moss is in the house. Room. Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah, we're very excited to have Kate Moss involved in the show.
Here's something really funny. Have you ever played the saucepan game?
I have not, no.
Right, okay. So basically, at Christmas, when you're doing with these party games, all right, and I hope Kate's listening to this, what you do is you've got a group of people, so the family, right, and you get a piece of paper and you chop it into 3, and on each piece of paper you write someone famous, okay?
Yeah.
And it can be someone alive, dead, it can be a cartoon character, it can be a TV character, it could be anybody, all right, sports personalities. Someone put Kate Moss, right? And so my daughter got Kate Moss, and she went, it's a singer. It's also Dad's client. And I was like, right, who the bloody hell is that? Anyway, when we finally worked out it was Kate Moss, no, she was a model.
Yeah, I love that.
She turned up at my Christmas, which is absolutely lovely. Mate, I'm going to see you next week. I'll see you next week. Thanks for everything. And let's bring in our super guests. Cheerio, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, talking to Kate Moss, here she is, straight from the saucepan.
Straight from the saucepan into the fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
First time ever, Ashley, didn't check my work emails over Christmas. I was having absolute no time. So your phone call this morning going, Kate, did you get the email about we're going to go live at lunch today? I was like, right into the fire. But I'm really excited as always to talk to you, Ashley. What a pleasure.
I can see you're excited. We've also got Alan Olive, and you were also in my Christmas dinner in a little bowl with some toothpicks. And
that was a crowbar getting it in there, wasn't it?
No one's ever said that to you, have they? I'm sure.
Or get stuffed, or olive oil, or Popeye.
Right,
Where's
okay.
Popeye?
Good.
Yeah.
And no one's ever done any of those. Brilliant.
Nope, never heard of it.
Right, okay. So before we go any further, I want to know who you are and what you do. And we'll go ladies first. So Kate Moss, who are you? What do you do?
So I am a CEO of a exciting charity in Exeter for children with physical difficulties, ranging from 0 to 19 and everything in between. I've worked here for 25 years, started off as a junior physio, and 5 years ago had the privilege of taking over.
Wow, brilliant. Oh, there's loads that we can talk about there. And Alan Olive, come on, tell us who you are, what you do.
Short and how to follow that. So I'm MD of a small company that just moved down to the southwest. I'm a team psychologist. I've just come out of working with Olympic teams for the last 25 years, and basically we've all that stuff and the stuff that from elite military. We've taken all these lessons to work with businesses now to help optimize their teams. Fundamentally, when you look at teams, they can account for up to about 30% of your productivity. So we're really moving down, trying to use these techniques and processes, which you know all about. I just looked at your profile. You know about neurological-based training. So definitely loads of, we utilize some of that stuff. But it's basically about maximizing teams, using emotional intelligence, and getting them to be more happy and more productive. The two
I love
linked.
that.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely linked. You got a happy workplace. People do more, don't they?
Yeah.
What are the stats, Alan? I don't know if you know, but what are the stats of people like fed up, hate their job? It's shockingly high, isn't it?
I mean, we spend about 26 billion pounds a year in the UK, based on stress-related problems in the workplace, and about 80% of those are related to other people.
Mm. Yeah,
so that's a lot of money. I mean, when it comes down to the amount of money that you spend on conflict, that's 25 billion, and they don't completely overlap, but there's huge amounts of money just because someone's really annoying you. And of course, I'm sure we've all been part of that process ourselves at one end of the spectrum or the other.
I've had 30 jobs, Alan. That's because I hated my job. So yeah, Kate has been in the same job for 25 years. You're facing
when I first met you, Ashley, do you remember I said, I don't need LinkedIn because I'm not looking for a job. I've got the best job in the world. And now I've worked out that I've actually got the second best job in the world, because I think Santa, when I met him at a business show, networking, I had to take it that he had the better job than me. But, you know, I'm happy with second place.
I love that. That's brilliant. I'm just going to give a shout out to Mihal. Mihal comes to pretty much all of my shows. So hi, Mihal. Happy New Year to you. And I hope you have a cracking 2026. You're going to have to get yourself down to the West Country and come to BizFest, Mihal. We'd love to see you. So, Kate, have you always lived in Devon?
No, I arrived in Devon in 1997, having left Nottingham University. Followed my boyfriend at the time, who wanted to join the Marines, down for working here then. I woke up having left Nottingham, and before that, a Yorkshire girl strong, never thought I would ever leave God's country, and certainly not stay here. And I woke up that morning, my first night in Torbay Hospital, with the news that it was Diana's death, Princess Diana's death. And I wondered what the hell had happened. I'd only moved down south, and it was absolutely just the poignant moment when everybody goes, where were you on those days? And I seem to have those days where I remember the Twin Tower crash. Again, I'd moved offices that day, and it was, you know, so things that you link to days. But yeah, so not always.
Please don't change your job.
No, same as I am. No more disasters.
And where have you moved down from, Alan?
So I was all sail, because I'm a sailor and work for the British sailing team. All of us have to live within 12 miles of the coast. It's just a requirement.
The law.
I say that once to a client, and they believed me. So I've moved down from Bournemouth down to Devon, moved in with a partner. My daughter's just gone to a new school. But I've obviously lived in the West Country for quite a while. So I used to live in Cornwall when I was in the Navy. and all that. So, Kate, I can understand about the dealing with ex-military types or even military types, having gone through Limpston myself as well. So, yeah, dodgy characters, like them.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Devon, and we're all here today because we are exhibiting at BizFest, which is an incredible show. So why have you, picked up the baton and decided to exhibit at BizFest? I was going to say Vranch House. So yeah, I'm going to pick on Kate first. So why do you see the benefit of coming to BizFest?
BizFest was our first event that we'd ever gone to outside of Vranch House. We were looking for somebody to come and do our roof for us, looking for potential people that we were going to employ. And do you know what? We had an absolute blast. Myself and Rebecca, business manager here, went and said, we'll do half an hour and then we'll head back to the office. We spent the whole day there. We met people like Ashley, who I say, you look back to the post that Ashley and I have done together. He changed my outlook on life completely and utterly. It's made my life so much busier, so much harder. But oh my God, is it been beneficial for the charity? And we had so much fun. It was such a vibe. It was so busy. We met so many great people. Such a supportive network that we went, do you know what? We want to be part of this. And it's harder for charity. We've not got an awful lot to sell. People look at charities, they walk past and go, oh, I don't want to get involved in them because that means me giving something. It's not about that. The connections, the people, the support, the ideas, everything has started from us from BizFest. And do you know what? We want to be part of that.
Brilliant. Time to give back. I love that. What a great story. Alan, why have you decided to come along?
So some of it is frustration, if I'm honest. I moved down here about 2 years ago, and coming from the Olympic world and trying to talk to business, it's a different language. So I'm still learning the language. And as a scientist as well, it's sort of like moving down is just the chance to connect. So I had done some networking, but I've been quite frustrated. Quite a lot of the networking often involves quite a lot of people, with their small businesses trying to connect with and look for bigger clients. And actually the reality is we were all in the same room looking for the same clients. And so I wanted something a little bit more different. And we're talking networking. I joined the Samphire Club. So you've already mentioned that in the pre-talk, from John Harvey, whose sister turns out lives down the road from me, bizarrely, across the common. So we joined that, and I think he kind of inspired me to look at that. I mean, if he can get away with gobbing off and and being articulate that way. So I thought, wow, why not do the same sort of thing? And he really appreciated it, and it made a big difference, and it resonated quite a lot within the network that we sit in. So a lot of people were talking about it, and wanting to get and going. So it just seemed an obvious way just to gob off to another group of people and speak with enthusiasm. And I love what all of you have kind of said about that bit about putting something back into the Southwest. I moved down here and I've lived down here for about 20 years, I suppose. And it does feel sort of like you want to make a difference, especially a little bit older now, and having all this experience is just thinking, how could we help and support the business in the Southwest? Because it's just a brilliant place to live. And people are much nicer to each other than even in Yorkshire. I have lived in Yorkshire as well, so I've got a little, but it was Leeds.
But that's the thing, right? Isn't it? It's in the olden days, it would be cutthroat and I'm not helping you. Now it's, how can I help you? I know you do the similar sort of thing as me, but I'm sure I can help you. And I think that's what's lovely. Definitely in the Southwest, there's definitely that feeling of we all want to look out for each other. You keep dropping this Olympic thing in. How did you get into all of that, Alan?
So I came out of the military and always wanted to be a psychologist, and came back to that after when I was 28 and started going down that route, became a psychologist, and then just got sucked into British sailing at the time. My interview was in Torquay on a yacht. I mean, that's got to be an impressive interview, isn't it?
That's cool.
With Rod Carr, who's a fantastic leader in sport world, and then just came into British sailing, and then we sort of like started morphing into became head of coaching in high performance coaching in the UK, working with Team GB and UK Sport, and worked within a whole, like lots and lots of different sports, but just kept seeing the same patterns emerge and using the same sort of training principles to sort of like how you develop people. And quite a lot of the business world develops competency and knowledge, whereas we found in the Olympics and elite military, you have to develop skills, and you have to teach it in a very different way. So the neurological stuff that you do was absolutely front and center for what we do, but how you motivate and engage people, how you make changes, influence, coach, give feedback, all that sort of stuff, the use of simulations and immersion and scenario based. So all that sort of learning, sorry if that's gone technical garb, that sort of came out. So when I came out of Olympic sport, I lost my wife about 8 years ago, and it really kind of changes your whole perspective. And I had a young daughter that I had to go and look after. So business seemed a much more obvious place to sort of like sit within. And so taking all these lessons and kind of transferring them in, both as a psychologist and a coach, I guess, and as a dad, all of those sort of things that kind of made sense for why I went down this route.
No, perfect. I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your wife. That's hard. That is hard.
Uncommon. It's becoming more and more common, isn't it?
That's put a downer on things. I do apologize.
Sorry.
But no, I wanted to acknowledge it. I wanted to acknowledge it because, you know, we've all got stuff going on in our lives, and we come on and we show we're professional and stuff like that. But you know, nobody knows what's going on behind. So thank you so much for sharing that. And so, what are you bringing to businesses? Because you're going to be working with who's your typical customer client. And how are you helping them? Because I guess they're not. I'm trying to come up with some sailing words, but I can't. Not trimming the sails, are they?
Keeping the boat steady, all that stuff. Sorry, say the question again. Sorry, you confused me.
So basically, who's your ideal client, and then how are you bringing that sail trimming into their business? Yeah,
so we work. I mean, the traditional one is that anybody that sees relationships or trust as important to their bottom line, you know, whether that be, you know, and that connection with the client or the ability to work as a team, any of those teams. And there is no size number to this. It can be a small company that really want to, you know, especially when they're upskilling, they've got 3 or 4 people that have been inspirational and brought a whole load of passion. But then when they upskill it, they've got to then bring in others to that process and create the same culture that then resonates out. So there's a group of, so fundamentally the people that we go to are people that are having problems at dysfunctional teams. They're just not working. We get called in, which is interesting dynamics of how you approach that. There's also teams that are significantly strategic for that company. We work with them. So like senior leaders team, because that's where it all starts from. And then obviously we work with new teams, just starting to evolve and coming together, and even round the world yachts teams. You know, the principles are the same, because when you get, and this is a sailing analogy now, when you get to the Southern Atlantic, when the waves are like 60 foot high, if you don't trust the person next to you, that if you fall over, they're going to come back for you, you're buggered, really, aren't you? So I have to stop swearing in these things. I just get carried away as an ex-infantry officer. So cool. Those are the bits that I think, and it comes, and I'm sure Kate knows this because she's in the business of creating trust with people. It comes down to trust and emotional intelligence, the ability to do that, perceive other people's differences, and the empathy that goes with that. That's the thing that binds us together, that sells stuff, that creates long-term relationships, that creates change.
No, perfect. Kate, I want you to tell us a little bit about Vranch House, because I was lucky enough to have a little visit and a private tour, and met the most gorgeous little thing, who showed me around as well. So it was a great day. Tell everybody, what is Vranch House?
So it is a special school for 58 children with significant physical difficulties. So we've got a couple of students on ventilators, needing high-end medical care. And then also it's a therapy clinic centre. So we have physiotherapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, music therapists that provide services from the neonatal unit right through to children 19. So whether your child has sprained their ankle multiple times, or got coordination difficulties, or got a real significant physical difficulty. We cater for all those children. We have an element of government funding, but actually the true cost, the charity beside Vranch House, aims to give back true cost to Devon's children of about 30%. But actually, in real terms, we are giving at least 50% back to Devon, to the children of Devon. And that's getting harder and harder to do. So we look at partnerships with all sorts of different people to see whether they want to give some back to charities. We do some small events. We're trying to grow those events, but we're in competition with many amazing charities in Devon. So what we're just trying to do is put our name out there to say, if you want to look for a smaller charity and you want to give something to a children's charity, that's us. But also, if you need us as a service as well, you know, a neighbour that's got a child that's struggling with the coordination difficulties, or is really getting frustrated in sports groups because they're always the one that's picked last, those sorts of things, and come and have a word with us or point people in our direction.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? So it's special needs. I'm doing a thing with my fingers. If that child is on a ventilator, that is serious, isn't it? And like you say, you know, 24-hour care and goodness knows what else. And so someone listening to this now might be thinking, oh, that's not my kid because they've only got this, this, and this. But it's every kid with a difficulty, isn't it? Is that right, Kate? Yeah,
absolutely. We parents can self-refer through GPs, but children can refer themselves if they really need to. But it is I'm struggling to do my buttons up, and actually people at school are making fun of me for that. We will look at the coordination behind that. Our OTs will look at giving them some support of how they break that task down to make it better for them. And that has significant output for if you're feeling more comfortable as in a wider group, you don't feel down, then actually you're going to achieve more. And that's what we look at, is what are these children going to achieve if we can just give them those little sparks of support and help when they actually need it.
No, look, this is really close to home. I hope you don't mind, Alan, but you know, your daughter's been through a lot of trauma. Would that be something that Vranch House could help with?
Probably not with where she's at the moment. But I mean, she worked, so I'm not advertising another school, but we went deliberately to Sands School, which is in Ashburton, which was very orientated towards the neurological diversity. You know, and again, the thread here is about confidence and developing motivation to want to do something. You know, and so she's been sort of like working down that route quite carefully. But it's always a question. Yeah, how much has that influenced her life and how she's being and who she is? And she's related to me with all my genes, so she's got loads of problems she has to deal with.
Yeah, poor thing.
But it's about that signposting. It's about that working together community. So, you know, Alan's Sands School, I've had a couple of our patients here that have got physical difficulties, got problems with their backs and things, that have gone to Sands School and have been amazing. So we have our physios go into, and OTs go into all different schools across Devon. So we've got a build-up of portfolio of what school does what well. So if parents were struggling, they could contact us and say, this is what's going on, my child. Have you got any advice? Or, you know, so we're a library of resources as well that people need to know about, so that we can work together as a community to make sure that people get the right services they need in the right education at the right time. Everything today is about community, isn't it? About the business community, but also about that knock-on. There's a ripple effect that when you talk and have a conversation and engage with people as humans, you find a bit of a backstory and you go, okay, actually I could help with this, or actually I can't, but I can put you in touch with somebody else. And it's so important to have that network.
Yeah, and like you say, signposting. We now know who you are, because we didn't know until you went to BizFest last year. Right, we've pretty much run out of time. I'm going to come back to each of you for a closing comment. But before I do that, I'm just going to give a shout out to our guests next week. We have got Lucy, Natalie and Martin, who are coming on to have a chat with us about their businesses. So I'm looking forward to chatting to them. But before we say goodbye, how can people reach out for you, and what's your goal for 2026? So come on, Alan, I'll let you go first.
LinkedIn's the easiest and obvious place to sort of like go through, Alan Olive. And It was a pretty appalling year for training last year. So anything is better. Actually, it's already different. You know, what BizFest has really inspired me, because to stand in front of someone and tell them what you do is an inspirational part of the process, and it creates a real clarity for yourself. So keeping it short and simple, that's the bit that I'm most excited about this year, which is just having more conversations.
Perfect. You are going to have so many at BizFest. Kate, how do we get hold of you, and what's your goal for 2026?
So Vranch House, website, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikToks. Try and do it all now. But come and visit us, come and see it, because actually the real thing behind Vranch House is the children, and coming and meeting them. That if that doesn't inspire you to get involved and give up half a day or give up an hour of giving us some support, or just coming and reading with the kids or helping them on a school trip, anything like that, the kids are the best advocate about Vranch House, because they are what Vranch House is all for. I am going to try and be better at keeping in touch with Ashley Leeds over this year, because I'm terrible. He has to hunt me down every now and again. But genuinely, I'm just really looking forward to BizFest. Started our year really, and we don't see the end of our year until the next BizFest, when we actually are as an exhibitor, and we're going to have so much fun. So please drop by into BizFest and say hello. And Alan, I'll come and have a chat as well. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, great. Thanks for coming along, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody for watching. We will be back next week, like I say, with those other guys. So thanks ever so much indeed. And we will see you next time. Cheerio.
Thanks, Ashley. Bye. Good luck.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest, or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name's Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.